In just a few moments, we're going to see the nations taking part in this race introduced. And this is your all-time Tank Biathlon host, Nikolai Fedorov. Co-hosting for the English-speaking audiences is Dmitry Kulinsky. Another fine day, 22 Celsius here, however, with a light breeze. And hopefully everything will work out with all the fire missions for all the teams. Introducing Sudan, South Ossetia, Tajikistan and Abkhazia, second cruise. Every nation taking part in this race appointed own referees, and introducing the international referee panel. Representing Sudan, Major Abubakar Bashir Kambal. South Ossetia represented by Lieutenant Colonel Vladimir Zagoyev. Nasinjon Sharipov, Lieutenant Colonel representing Tajikistan, and Abkhazia, alias Vanacha, Lieutenant Colonel. So all is set to start this race. 4 fire lines, 4 tanks color-coded to team colors. South Ossetia today gets the chance to come back to this ground. We'll give you more details on this later. First to start is Sudan, and introducing Crew 2 for Sudan, Tank Commander Corporal Ismail Ahmed. Ghana, Corporal Abdel Rahim Mahana, and the driver Sergeant Suleiman Sharaf Eldin. Republic of Sudan, second crew. A red color-coded tank. Introducing Republic of South Ossetia, second crew. Introducing the tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Sergei Gabozov. Gunneries, Senior Lieutenant Dmitry Bukulov. And the driver, Sergeant Atsamas Kazayev. South Ossetia, the red color-coded tank. The third fire line, the yellow color-coded tank, introducing the Republic of Tajikistan. The tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Said Mumin Muminov. The gunner, Senior Lieutenant Firuz Murodov. And the driver, Captain Said Leon Mirzoyev. Republic of Tajikistan. And the left flank, blue tank, Republic Abkhazia. Tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Andrei Gushin. Ghana, Damei Chania. And the driver, Senior Lieutenant Imran Karhalava, Abkhazia. All that remains is to wish the best of luck to all the crews taking part in this race. Let's follow and support these teams. And the signal to start the race is given here at Alabina Army Proving Ground. This is the signal for the crews to take the job pattern seats in the T-72B3s, supplied to all of the teams except for China and Belarus, who use their own, to all of the teams. 840 horsepower engine, allowing this tank to achieve speeds of up to 70 kilometers an hour. However, the unbroken record set at this track back in 2019 still stands unbroken at 84 kilometers an hour. Enough certainly to get some traffic penalty notices in some countries. And now this is the chief referee, Major General Kirill Kulakov, the head of Kazan Tankers Academy, the cradle of many world-class tankers from Russia. And now Sudan is the first to move into the ground. Each crew needs to do 3 laps of the ground. The first lap is incomplete. The crew goes directly into the fire mission. However, the second and third laps are full. The full lap is 4 kilometers 100 meters. And the total distance is just over 10 kilometers in this individual hits. Well done for Sudan in this maneuvering obstacle. Last time Sudan appeared in 2019 second division, taking the 8th position. 2 years break due to the pandemic, and now they are back at Labina. Right now they are moving over to the ammunition loading bay. They're about to load their 125mm shells. 3 shells for the first fire mission. The difference between the first and second division fire missions is that no additional ammunition is allowed for second division teams. The 3 targets are raised simultaneously. This is another novelty on the previous years, enabling the gunner to engage any target they like at will, which can sometimes play cruel jokes, as in striking targets twice, which we saw happen in the previous race from Mongolia. These targets are ranged at distances from 17 to 1900 meters. So Sudan first crew this year is in the 18th position of the overall rankings in the individual hits. The time recorded was 54:38 by the team. However, the team missed 2 years. Certainly this can tell on active skills, since practice makes perfect, as we all know, ladies and gents. And these fire missions and the obstacles in the tank biathlon, they have to be practiced year-round if the crews want to show us the stuff that we expect from them. Now, Sudan is moving into the firing line, about to engage the 3 tank targets. Corporal Manaka Abdelrahim is the gunner who is going to perform this live fire. He is a 12-year-old veteran of Sudanese armed forces. However, this is his first time at the tank biathlon, upholding the order of Sudanese tankers at this international tank biathlon. Now the gunner is tracking for target. No 20-second limit is introduced here for the first shot. Another difference to the first division. All they need to do is shoot and hit. In case the targets remain intact, 2 penalty laps per target will be the penalty distance. The crew for the crew. And we can see the turret rotating, looking into the field for the green-colored targets. We can see these targets with the naked eye from this command post. I'm watching these targets right now, same as all of the referees, along with the chief referee of this contest, tank biathlon, Major General Kulakov. No reports from the tank commander on any technical difficulties. Probably concentrating and about to open fire. Let me remind you that only 4 minutes is allowed for the whole fire mission. And fire! Unfortunately, it looks like it's under, earning themselves 2 penalty laps. The first crew of Sudan only hit 1 target. So hopefully this result can be improved today. A bit sharper And the fire controls. 1700-meter target remains standing, and it's under. I think fire has to be corrected by the coaches that are here with us at the command post and are in live comms with the tank commander. The tank commander then instructs his crew, and also the tank commander will need to tackle one fire mission himself personally. Speaking of the helicopter target, and we're expecting the third shot from Sudan. Come on. And fire. Unfortunately, it looks like it's still under. Too short for Sudan. The crew just earned themselves 6 penalty laps, equaling 500 meters per lap, so that's 3Ks in total. Practically another full lap. And now South Ossetia, a red color-coded tank. Let me explain the reason for the red color-coded tank of South Ossetia. Everyone that were with us for the second division hits yesterday are aware of what happened. Certainly it was through no fault of the crew. It was a technical problem which was ruled technical by the umpire commission. They had one tank replacement, however they couldn't continue the race. The crew could not finish, and according to the rules, regardless of the number of tanks you use, only one replacement is allowed per race. That's the reason for the decision to allow. This was an unequivocal, please note, unequivocal decision by the international referee panel and the chief referee, Major General Kirill Kulakov, to give South Ossetia permission to take the field with the second division, second cruise for Abkhazia, Tajikistan and Sudan. Certainly this was no fault of South Ossetians. The representatives of the UBZ, the manufacturer of these fine armored vehicles, removed all the problems, and let's hope for some better performance from South Ossetia. Our closest friends, brothers, neighbors, many Russians reside in South Ossetia and vice versa. 6 penalty laps for Sudan. Sudan is now in the second. Still have to do a few more kilometers. And South Ossetia ammunition loading bay, loading the 3 standard artillery shells. 125mm rounds are used for the main caliber smoothbore cannon of the T-72B3s. Now all the hatches are sealed by the team. All hatches must be sealed according to the rules before taking the fire mission. And the 3 red color-coded targets are now being raised. They're now out in the ground, and the tank commander will now report ready to fire. Certainly the guys are anxious, lots of pressure. This is the second chance, and certainly is an exception rather than the rule. However, once again, let me reiterate that this was, please note, an unequivocal, united decision by the international umpire panel. Second division, second crew allows South Ossetia to take the ground today with these 3 fine teams. And in the meanwhile, Sudan is struggling in the penalty distance, picking up speed, hopefully. They must have lost the way slightly. Yes, they lost the track. They need to come back. This is a rough terrain track, certainly giving the drivers an opportunity to show their best for their armored vehicles crossing this rough terrain and traversing the obstacles. Now the gunner is in no hurry to begin the fire. for South Ossetia. It cannot be calmer, can it? Let's clarify with the chief referee the reasons for this South Ossetia delay. And just look at Sudan, he's going right through the fields. Slightly losing the way. Hopefully they will be able to get back on track without any assistance. It's time to come back on track. Enough travel. Good, they're back. However, still missing the road. They need to be corrected, certainly. And now fire, finally, South Ossetia. Unsuccessful at this stage. Continuing for the second target. Second. And this is also a miss. And in the meanwhile, Sudanese second crew is taking a break, probably observing the fire mission of the South Ossetian brothers. However, let's not enjoy the show for too long, guys, if you don't want to come last in this race. And South Ossetia is about to take the third shot. Already earned themselves 4 penalty laps with the first 2. And third target. Just earned another 2 penalty laps for South Ossetia. And they just repeated Sudan in earning the 6 penalty laps. Hopefully Sudan finished watching and can move on. They're still relaxing out in the green. Tajikistan is out in the ground. Second crew for Tajikistan for this individual hits race. Let's wish all the best to our Tajik tankers. Let me remind you, Tajikistan took the field last year in the second division quite successfully. Barely missing the gold medal, becoming the silver prize winner. Kyrgyzstan team took first place, took gold, and earned the ticket into the first division this year. But certainly it is too early to call the result this year. First crew Myanmar still remains leaders with a time worthy of the first division. And we just saw Tajikistan knock a pole in an obstacle, while South Ossetia is racing, trying to make up for time lost in penalty laps. Everything is resting on the driver's shoulders now. He's certainly going to need to set some speed records here to save the team and save the day for South Ossetia. Back to the replay. This is where the rounds went. Over, close, but no cigar, unfortunately. And targets certainly need to be struck. A bit more fire accuracy is what we want to see from all of those teams. After all, this is why we're here, ladies and gents. And hitting on targets makes us happy. Now Tajikistan second crew loaded the 3 rounds for the tank fire mission. First crew for Tajikistan performed quite well in the top 5 at 34 minutes 32 seconds with 1 target out of 5 hit. Not a great result on fire accuracy. Let's hope the second crew of Tajikistan can rehabilitate the team and fulfill the first fire mission. The targets are out in the ground and fire! Tajikistan. Target intact. The shot went under. Fire is being now corrected by the coach for the team. They need to aim More carefully, and the second shot is a hit. Good fire correction by the coach for the Tajikistan team. And meanwhile, South Ossetia records the first lap time. However, still 3 kilometers of penalty distance remains for South Ossetia team. Third shot for Tajikistan. Unfortunately, only one target was hit. Actually, no, dear friends, no, we couldn't see it from our angle. Second target is also hit. So 2 targets out of 3, only earning Tajikistan 2 penalty laps and setting them as leaders in the race in terms of fire accuracy. And right now we'd like to go to the replays of the first Tajikistan fire. Perhaps it was also a hit that we couldn't see, but they certainly have 2 targets out of 3. In the meanwhile, Sudan is being escorted out of the green, back on track, slightly disoriented. No danger in that. It can happen and does happen at times. Sudan will now come back to the track and continue. Chief referee just confirmed 1 target was missed, only 2 penalty laps. Please note that the shot went over and the coach told us it was under. However, the tankers understood each other and the gunner performed well on the remaining target. Well done. And Tajikistan has overcome the board obstacle, continues. South Ossetia has already set up their 12.7mm anti-aircraft machine gun and is about to engage in their second fire mission. 6 penalty laps still remain for both Sudan and South Ossetia. 18 minutes almost passed for Sudan. Certainly it's a problem with pressure, difference, anxiety, and certainly lack of experience tells the crew missed the previous 2 years. And this is telling. I think that Sudan probably doesn't have a singular tank course where tankers can practice, and this is certainly a pity. Now Abkhazia is forward, streaming forward to begin their race. Blue color coded tank for Abkhazia, moving into the restricted obstacle, a restricted maneuvering. We saw Tajikistan make a mistake at the restricted maneuvering obstacle, which will result in a pit stop. Oh, look at this, went too far, too far. Be careful with the last ball. Only 1 ball remains. Well done, just skirting it. The razor's edge, he made it. White flags. No penalties will apply to Abkhazia for this obstacle. Imran Karkhalava, the senior lieutenant driver for Republic of Abkhazia. First time in this tank biathlon, a 25-year-old. And Sudan is now back on track, being assisted by the line flagman. And is about to continue their penalty laps. Loading ammunition now. In a few seconds. Tajikistan going into the second lap, recording lap time of 7:31, 1 minute 34 seconds ahead of South Ossetia, without counting the penalty laps remaining. Tajikistan silver prize winners from 2021. obstacle. This was clearly a mistake by South Ossetia. This will result in a pit stop. Well, the slope has been quite difficult for all of the drivers in the second division and some drivers in the first. Imran Karhalava, the gunner, is handing these shells. 125mm shells. Quite heavy shells, mind you. Are loaded. And after the report of the tank commander, they're going to move into the fire line and engage the first 3 targets. The coach is now reporting ready to progress. It's time to raise the targets. 3 minutes 20. Tajikistan is certainly the leader in this race at this stage. A very strong team. And Abkhazia, first crew, took the 12th position, only striking 1 target, number 12. Holding our breath for Abkhazia to open fire. The tank targets allocated at distances from 16 to 1800 meters, and in the meanwhile South Ossetia is engaging the helicopter target, and it's a strike. The tank commander for South Ossetia, also a graduate of the Far East All Armed Forces Academy, a graduate from 2020. Senior Lieutenant Sergei Gabosov performed this fire mission for South Ossetia. His loving wife, he is actually a newlywed, is supporting him today. South Ossetia is moving away, about to continue the race. Many servicemen, international servicemen, according to international obligations, are studying at the Russian Federation military academies, military colleges, and then come back to their own nations, to their own armed forces, to transfer these important skills and experience they collected during their study in Russia. Tajikistan traversing the slope. Looks like Tajikistan is now about to go through the vertical step. No stopping right now. Well done. Well done. The turret is open. The tank commander seals it. All is well. As long as the crew closes the turret themselves, closes the catch themselves, this won't result in penalties. And the first shot for Abkhazia is a hit. Abkhazia fans are celebrating, certainly happy for this first fire. Abkhazia, Damei Chania, the gunner, senior lieutenant for Abkhazia, is performing this fire mission, also a graduate of the Far East All Armed Forces Academy. And now racing past the Glory Mound is Sudan, trying to catch up lost time. 17 minutes, 20 seconds behind the leaders. Just look at this. Look at this last obstacle, and Abkhazia very well done. 2 targets hit in exactly the same position. Concentrated fire from Abkhazia. 1 shell remains, as well as 1 target still standing for Abkhazia. Let's hold our breath and fingers crossed. In the meanwhile, Tajikistan is about to engage the helicopter target with the anti-aircraft machine gun. Shot volleys, 15 rounds and 6 traces. However, all eyes are on Abkhazia tank targets. Certainly this is the most engaging fire mission. Third shot, again repeating their filigree work. The whole all of the 3 shots, 3 targets are struck in exactly the same position by Abkhazia. In the meanwhile, Tajikistan struck on their helicopter target. Successful hits recorded. Tajikistan 3 out of 5 continues along. Certainly fine work. Abkhazia is also following closely. Certainly this will be the favorites of this race. Tajikistan and Abkhazia are the favorites at this stage with Look at the replay. It's as if they're hitting the same target, but no, these were 3 different targets. However, this filigree the same corner of the target. Now Abkhazia past the minefield obstacle. White flags by the lineman indicate no fault. However, South Ossetia mistake. Going to see it in the replays. We are watching them doing the penalty pit stop for breaching the last obstacle. About 1 minute is wasted at this penalty pit stop, unfortunately for the team. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia out of board. White flags by the flagman. Certainly no mistakes are made. However, mistakes are possible if the driver chooses the wrong gear. He may not be able to escape out of water. It's a 1.5 meter deep obstacle. South Ossetia. 156. And then break. And about their last fire mission. They're about to stop and load their coaxial machine gun. And Sudan at the escarp at the vertical step, practically destroying the vertical step. And in the replays, which is also then scuffed one of the poles. That's a clear penalty. That's a second slow. Hopefully they can traverse without any red flags. Slight scuffs. Oh no! It's a penalty. Unfortunately for them. South Ossetia. Time was just stopped for South Ossetia. They had a problem with communications. Hopefully this problem is now eliminated. Comms are fine. And they're about to continue. Abkhazia surging along into the second lap, recording 11:37. Tajikistan very close to the third lap now. While Abkhazia is already in the third, however, their 6 penalty laps still remain. Actually putting Tajikistan in the lead in this race. Certainly it's not over until the last minute, until the finish line is crossed. And we're watching Abkhazia now setting up their machine gun. The Commander-in-Chief of Ground Forces, Russian Federation, Army General Oleg Selukov, is commanding this Army International Games in the Russian Federation, along with the tank biathlon. And also, we'd like to remind you that the 1st of October in Russian Federation is the annual Day of Ground Forces. So, dear friends, don't forget, the 1st of October, you can congratulate all of your friends from Russian land, from Russian ground forces with their special day on the 1st of October. Back in 1550, the ground forces of Russian Federation saw their birth. The Tsar Ivan IV constituted the ground forces of Russia. And the fire mission for Sudan helicopter target is being engaged with 12.7mm rounds. We don't see where these rounds are going. The target is still intact at this stage. And in the meanwhile, the chief referee, South Ossetia, another mistake. Probably a mistake was made at the designated pit stop obstacle. Sudanese tank commander continues fire. Corporal Ahmed Ismail, a 5-year veteran of Sudanese Armed Forces, a 2nd-year veteran of this tank biathlon. He was here back in 2019, taking part in the contest. Well, he's still not out of ammo. However, we don't see the flare burning. In the meanwhile, South Ossetia stopped right next to Sudan, about to tackle their fire mission as well. They need to load up on ammunition, while Sudan is concluding fire, unfortunately without striking the target. And Tajikistan is about to record their second lap time. 20 minutes 42 seconds was the time for Tajikistan. South Ossetia is 1 minute 6 seconds behind with another 6 penalty laps remaining. Abkhazia is certainly looking good for the second position at this stage. However, too early to tell. It's going to be a close one. Sudan continues progress, about to enter their penalty laps, and South Ossetia in the 3rd fire mission on the enemy anti-tank RPG unit. This is a glass-covered target which shatters even from hits with a single round, making it quite easy for the audience to witness these hits on target. Coaxial Kalashnikov tank coaxial machine gun 7.62mm is used in this fire mission. Well, apparently South Ossetia is out of ammo, with the target remaining intact. This will certainly result in a penalty lap for South Ossetia. Tajikistan is now at the designated stop obstacle, setting up their 7.62mm coaxial machine gun and streaming forward. An awesome show from Tajikistan today. The speed quite high. Some mistakes do exist on targets. One target remained. They have a chance to end this race with 4 targets hit out of 5 possible. Abkhazia now scuffing the slow obstacle, earning themselves a pit stop. Climbing the vertical step. It's a pleasure to see no problems in the vertical steps from any team. However, team has earned themselves a pit stop for the fault at the slope. Ladies and gents, let me remind you that all of these armored vehicles, except for Chinese Type 96B and Belarus's own T-72B3, are supplied by Russian Federation posts. Certainly any team tanks from two teams take advantage of this opportunity. T-72B3 is a famous continuation of the old T-72 model, commissioned back in 2012 as the main battle tank of the Russian ground forces. Increased mobility, a more powerful powertrain, higher firepower, and upgraded fire controls are the features of this model. This upgrade is equipped with an 840 horsepower engine, and Sudan in the meanwhile is in trouble. Be careful, South Ossetia is very close. Sudan is obstructing the road for South Ossetia by reversing. Hopefully they can continue along their own track. Certainly we don't want to see any accidents with collisions. The driver, Suleiman Sharafeldin, is back on the track, picking up speed, trying to compensate for time lost previously. The driver accuracy with the track and the obstacles. However, the place today after taking that break during South Ossetia fire mission. Perhaps the vision and optics of the Sudanese tank are obstructed, preventing clear visibility for the driver. Certainly, that was their way quite a number of times. Once again in the reviews, this sharp turn, this famous Armenian turn where we almost saw an Armenian crew flip the tank yesterday. Our friends from Armenia are not upset with this designation. They're proud that one of the turns at this track bears their name instead. Thankfully, no serious incident was recorded. However, it was close to flipping. But thankfully, everyone is safe and sound, and the drivers were instructed to exercise extreme caution at this sharp Armenian turn in the future. Because, let me remind you once again, 2014 did see a tank flipped in this sharp turn during practice rounds by the Armenia team. And South Ossetia is close to the finish line. In the meanwhile, two targets remain out in the ground. Yellow AT-RPG for Tajikistan and blue helicopter target for Abkhazia. South Ossetia is at the finish line, 33-12. And we saw 27-22 recorded by Tajikistan, continuing to stay in the lead of this individual heats race. Hopefully no time will be lost by Tajikistan. We saw them miss on the last fire mission. South Ossetia has not done their penalty laps for the reason that penalty lap entrance was obstructed by other teams. That's why the team went straight to the finish line, and their average penalty lap time multiplied by 6 is going to be added to the 33:12 best time of South Ossetia. This is going to be corrected upwards for South Ossetia to include the 6 penalty laps. Nonetheless, we'd like to thank South Ossetia second crew. Thank you, Sergei Gabozov, Senior Lieutenant, Tank Commander, the gunner, Dmitry Bukulov, Senior Lieutenant, and Sergeant Atsa Maskazayev was the driver for South Ossetia. Well done, bravo. And now Sudan losing the threadway. This is an example of how the threadway should not be passed, certainly. This has just earned them a penalty lap. And by the way, today, if today's race had happened on the 26th of August, it would have been even more significant for both republics. Both Abkhazia and South Ossetia celebrate their Independence Day on the 26th. Next week, we are going to congratulate their dear friends, our closest neighbors from Abkhazia and South Ossetia with their Independence Day. And right now, careful out in the track, giving way on the right for the blue. Back to back, certainly, neck to neck for Abkhazia and Tajikistan. Tajikistan in the third lap, Abkhazia still in the second. Very hard to tell who is going to win this race as yet. In case Abkhazia scores no penalty laps at the fire mission, they are still in with a chance for victory in this battle. Sudan 42.57 in the third lap, about to engage in their third fire mission. First crew recorded a time of 38 minutes. The support of these crews by the fans, by the audience, is so important for the tankers. Despite not hearing the thunderclap of applause and the cheers from the stands, the tankers still feel the emotions, this electric atmosphere here at Alabina. And by the way, dear friends, the chief referee of the Army International Games, Colonel General Alexander Litsov, is also here to observe today's races. And right now, Tajikistan is out on the board, going for the finish line. It remains only 3 obstacles. We haven't seen a single Tajikistan crew record any problems at the start this year. Tajikistan screaming for the heel obstacle now. Well, this year we're not going to see any flying tanks. The crews were instructed in terms of safety to avoid these flying lips we used to see in the previous years. Certainly a pity for the audiences, but safety considerations are paramount at this track. And Tajikistan is going into the deep, into the sharp turn through the obstacle, restricted passage, while Sudan is going for the fire mission. This is the third fire mission, the enemy anti-tank RPG unit, and a little further ahead, tomorrow, France on the 20th of August. We're expecting a showdown from the first division, Vietnam, Venezuela, Kazakhstan, and second division powers, Armenia, Syria, and Myanmar. Third crews are taking the field for the second division, and the second crews are ending their show today. Tajikistan 33:04. elapsed into the race. And the finish line. Tajikistan, 3-2-1. Bravo, Tajikistan, well done. So far, taking a strong position in this individual hits race. Well, overall rankings. Winners are also going to be decided based on the statistics from individual hits. A big thank you to coaches and referees from Tajikistan. We can see that the team has learned the hard lessons of last year, striking 3 targets out of 5 and making good time. Certainly satisfactory result at least. Still, no complacency for the third cruise, and we hope to see an even stronger show from Tajikistan quite soon for the third cruise. Right now, Sudan out in the fire mission, the enemy anti-tank unit still unsuccessful. 0 fire accuracy from Sudan in this race. Some hard lessons, some conclusions are certainly in order for Sudan. We'll know, once again, practice makes perfect. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia records 29 minutes lap time for the second lap and are in lap 3. Dear audiences, many spectators come here to Alabina, to the stands, buying tickets for this tank biathlon. The tickets are available at the tanky-biathlon.ru and cost at about $20 in exchange rates. Certainly a small price to pay for witnessing this thrilling, adrenaline-fueled action. However, also thank you to our online audiences, YouTube, the Ministry of Defense Russian Federation, and Zvezda, the Star TV channel. Many countries, 35 countries, are featuring this year in the 8th Army International Games, making it a truly grand event. Venezuela, for instance, is now holding the Sniper Frontier competition as we speak. And all the data on the International Army Games can be learned at the official website of Army International Games called Army 2022. Just look it up, Google it, and you can read up about the contests, watch tank biathlon, and support the Russian Federation along with other teams. Now, Abkhazia reporting ready for the third fire mission. The Kalashnikov coaxial machine gun has been set up. Only one fire mission remains on the stage. All of the crews are in the third lap, except for Tajikistan and South Ossetia. And Sudan is now streaming for the finish line. Almost 60 kilometers an hour, revving this engine, trying to compensate for lost time. The maximum speed recorded today was 68 kilometers per hour by the Sudanese team. Certainly there were mistakes, but they are fast and not making many mistakes in the third lap. Dear friends, the tank biathlon this year celebrates its 10th anniversary since its conception back in 2013 by the Minister of Defense, Russian Federation, hero of Russia, Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu, gave start to this tank biathlon, and we only had 4 teams in the first biathlon: Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Armenia. However, this year we are seeing 21 nations, the strongest tankers of the world are here in this amicable contest, not in a battlefield, but in this proving ground, performing these fire missions, obstacle challenges, certainly promoting friendship and cooperation. And we'd like to wish everyone worldwide peaceful skies. Now, continuing on, not losing pace, and that is about end this race. Only one race remains for the third cruise in individual hits. Each team is fielding 3 crews for the tank biathlon. Also, one fourth crew is and the only team this year that was represented by one crew was Mali, represented by its military cadets undergoing their studies in the Russian Federation. Abkhazia needs to stop at the ammo loading bay. This is their last fire mission. Abkhazia started last and is also about to finish 4th. So far showing us 34 minutes best time. 15 rounds are loaded into the coaxial machine gun for the last fire mission on the AT anti-tank unit. The target is located at a distance from 6 to 900 meters. Sudan, white flags, no hold, and all is ready to finish. Well, it was certainly a challenging race for Sudan, the driver, the gunner, but certainly they did everything they could. Nothing remains but to thank them for this performance. Hopefully, third crew for Sudan can give us a better show yet. Please put your hands together for Sudan at the finish line. Well, they decided to stop just before the finish, and it's counted. Sudan, 53:38 at the finish line. Well, it's a record for the team. This is best time recorded yet for Sudan. The time for South Ossetia, let me remind you, is not finalized. It's going to be corrected because the team has not done 6 penalty laps. Chief referee directed them to the finish line because the penalty laps were taken by other teams and the average time will be added. Now the coaches and the chief referee and the referee for Sudan are welcoming their servicemen, but we can see that the chief referee and coach have some serious considerations, probably thinking about how best to do the homework for this third crew and practice rounds before the third crew takes the field for the nation. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia, last target remaining. We're expecting unfortunately we did not see any hits recorded and themselves one penalty lap. The turret has to be facing direct. Abkhazia, very little remains. Everything is resting on driver's shoulders. He needs to get the team out of trouble with this penalty lap. Let's hope he can tackle that. August today. In the stands, his wife Anna is here at Alabina. She's supporting her husband that is driving the Abkhazia tank. And this is his lovely lady wife. Dear friends, she is supporting, following her husband. A great show by the team. Certainly second division teams are slightly weaker than the first division, but this doesn't mean that these teams are not preparing, and in the coming years they will get in the first division after some brilliant performances in the second. Long straight. Time is dear friends, that tomorrow on the 20th of August we are going to see the first division showdown. Third cruise, Vietnam, Venezuela, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. In the second heat of tomorrow we are going to see the third cruise for the second division, Laos, Armenia, Syria and Myanmar. And let me remind you, Myanmar first crew leads the rankings for the second division. 21st of August, Sunday, is going to be a full day. 3 races are on the menu. The long-awaited third crew clash from the third crew of Russian Federation are going to go for a clash with Belarus, Kyrgyzstan and the People's Republic of China. And also second division are in Zimbabwe, South Ossetia, and then Abkhazia, Tajikistan and Sudan. This will take place on Sunday, the 21st of August. And then the strongest 8 teams in the first division are going to enter the semi-finals of the relay race. There's going to be 2 semi-finals on the 23rd and the 24th of August. And then out of the 8 teams in the semi-finals, 4 teams are going to enter the final on the 27th of August, on the day when the 8th Army International Games are going to be officially closed. 2 weeks is the time for the Army International Games, but the tank biathlon is certainly the largest scale event, and it was started slightly earlier, 2 days before the official opening ceremony. We have enough time for all of the ranging, all of the practice rounds, and to be able to give all of these tank crews the ground, the field this year. Annually, a huge number of countries is invited to the tank biathlon, but for certain reasons, only those that are here today arrived this year, and that's fantastic to see. These are our friends, our partners, sharing close ties, strategic ties, friendship ties with the Russian Federation. Let's hope that these ties remain forever. As I mentioned earlier, 35 countries, 258 teams feature in this Army International Games. The geography of the competition is growing, and quite soon we hope a year will come when the Army International Games are going to be held at every continent of our planet, and maybe beyond yet, out in the space. Well, the games are developing. And now, please put your hands together for Team Abkhazia. Second crew, is finishing its show in this tank biathlon, but there is, I think it was a small mistake by the driver. And now almost at the finish line. Second crew Abkhazia using their own track. Careful now for the driver, only meters remain. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finish line, bravo! Abkhazia ends the race for today in the third rankings for this race without the South Ossetia time correction. In a few moments we're going to see all of the referees go to inspect the targets, and at a later session of the referee panel we are going to learn the ultimate results of this race, which will be published at the official biathlon website. And this was your Tank Biathlon host, Nikolai Fedorov, co-hosting for the English-speaking audiences, Dmitry Kulitsky. And 2 days of individual heats remain, and then the semi-finals and the finals. Now, over to the results. Sudan 53-38, Abkhazia 43-09, Tajikistan 33-15, and South Ossetia 33-12 at this stage without the 6 laps, which will later be added. Well, briefly over to the total rankings and then to the highlights. Abkhazia Senior Lieutenant Andrei Gushin, the gunner Senior Lieutenant Amechania, the driver Senior Lieutenant Imran Karkalava. Abkhazia, bravo, well done, fine job, certainly. I think that quite a great result for the second division, second cruise. Thanks to the tankers and thank you to the audiences. Now, preliminary rankings overall. First place, Myanmar, 27-43, followed by Iran, then South Ossetia first crew. Very well. And now over to the outsiders in the second division. Sudan closes the rankings along with Zimbabwe, unfortunately for the fans and the tankers. However, there is no limit to perfection. Practice, practice, and more practice will make perfect. 57-51, the worst time for division. Once again, over to the highlights. Sudan, missing the previous 2 years, last taken this field back in 2019. Some crew members are here that are veterans of this tank biathlon. Some of them are second-year veterans, but the gunner for Sudan saw his first show today. Certainly mistakes were made, especially for the driver. I think the coach is going to look into the reasons for losing the competition track. But homework will be done, hard lessons will be learned, and we'll hope for a better performance from the third crew. So then, 4th position in this race. Next, the blue color-coded tank, Abkhazia. Third in this race. And separately, I'd like to note their fire accuracy. Great work. Fine work by the crew. Young servicemen, 26 to 29-year-olds. However, very experienced tankers. Well, certainly practice at the Far East Olaf Forces Academy helped, because all of the three Abkhazia tankers are graduates of Blagoveshchensk Tank Academy. Thank you to the coaches and thank you to the crews. We'll eagerly expect the third crew show them from Abkhazia. And now, the second line in this race. Tajikistan. A great team. Despite the difficulties, some mistakes are made, however, unshaken. Second place in this Hit 6 of the second division. First crew, Tajikistan, took the field and entered the top 5 teams. Well, we're yet to see the third crew's performance and we'll learn whether they can make the top 3. And Tajikistan will feature among the winners on the 25th of August. Individual hits winners are going to be awarded on the 25th of August. Tajikistan, second position, but everything can yet be corrected following the referee panel hearing later, when Abkhazia is going to see time added. Well, South Ossetia, first, recording time of 33 minutes. We recall yesterday and we remember the difficulties and problems South Ossetia faced. Certainly having technical difficulties, and probably the crew was also slightly involved preparing their tanks, but there was an unequivocal decision by the referee panel. And thank you all, dear friends. This was the Tank Biathlon of the 8th Army International. Come back online at the Stars Zvezda TV channel, Ministry of Defense Russian Federation, RuTube, YouTube, and take care of each other, love each other, and be happy always. Stay well, and your Ministry of Defense is always next to you. Thank you and goodbye.